Hi folks, hope you're okay today. Just been reading this book, A.J. Ayer, and on page 210 it talks about this philosopher, British philosopher, um, and it talks about his department and how he conducted himself in philosophical discussion and debate. And I just want to read from page 210. As Ayer's department grew, it moved from site to site before in the mid-1950s finally settling in 19 Gordon Square, a tall, elegant Georgian house of just the type Ayer liked. Ayer's capacious white-walled smoke-filled office with an outsized couch doubled as the department's seminar room. Whatever the occasion, someone as a student, tutor or visiting speaker would read a paper. Richard Wollheim has described the scene. Here's the scene. Freddie would sit behind his desk, tipping his chair back with his silver cigarette case in front of him, helping himself to it at regular intervals, pausing between cigarettes only to comb his hair with his fingers or to adjust the knot of his tie or to straighten the silk folds as they fell over his shirt. The paper would end and Freddie's chair would fall forward. He frowned. He took another pull on his cigarette or twiddled his watch chain. Then he began. He simply was clear, precise, in faultless sentences, touching on every point made or not quite made. Sometimes he would stop himself in mid-flight. No, that's not quite right, because you could get out of it by saying, etc. And then he would invent a counter-argument. It was, and it was meant to be seen as a tour de force. After that, the discussion was general, but if there was a silence, someone would be asked his view. The rules of engagement were always the same. No position, this is the point, no position was to be considered better than the arguments presented in its favour. No argument was to be considered better than the weakest link in the form in which it was presented. The most implausible counter-example was a deadly, festering threat. Now, what I like about that is it seems to me that this philosopher was really he was doing what I think every academic should do and every scholar should do. When you're in discussion and debate, you are to what I would call, in quotes, engage. I remember when I was at theological seminary and I was arguing with quite a lot of students, and they weren't liking me because I was evangelical, and I was in evangelical seminary, but it had turned liberal. And there was a young student there who was who got a triple. I mean, this guy. I mean, I won't name his name. He's a top academic now. He's got his PhD. He's organising a theological conference where um, the last Archbishop of Canterbury, Rowan Williams, is lecturing. So I mean, my friend is probably one of the top academics in theology now. He's organising a massive conference with top theologians like Rowan Williams and stuff like that. But before he became a top theologian, um, he saw me being isolated by these students who didn't like evangelicalism. And he said, "Is there any way I can help you?" I said, "Well, engage." Now this is a guy who's a brilliant student who, when he got his degree, I mean, it was a first, I mean, this is top brilliant scholar. And so he took me, we would go to a cafe, and every week we'd go to this cafe and we'd talk about Kant, we'd talk about Hegel, we'd talk about feminism, we'd talk about Heidegger, we'd talk about whatever theological issue, N.T. Wright, and we go in and out and in and out. And he said to me, what we have to do, a good scholar engages. He said, when you say something, this is what he said to me, when you say something, Jason, I chew it over in my mind and I engage with it. And I've never forgot that lesson. That a true academic, a true scholar, will always take the opposing position and chew it over in their mind and truly look at it from that person's perspective and look at the ins and outs of the position and then say something in response. And this is what AJ Ayer is doing in his philosophical class. He's doing that. The art of debate, the art of discussion, when you're discussing or in debate with an opponent, is to chew over the other person's position. Now, I've had debates with atheists, for example, um, DPR Jones, an atheist. The reason why I had a debate with that is the guy was arrogant and he needed a lesson teaching. So I was not going to engage with him. I was there just to make sure that he learnt the lesson that he shouldn't be, um, he shouldn't treat people as if he's clever and everybody else isn't. But if you go and look at my debate and discussion with the global atheism, or the global atheist, on pragmatism, if you go and see my discussion with John McDrapout on Lollard Preachers, where we talk about Kant, you will see me engage. You will see me engage when I'm trying to understand Kant and I'm trying to understand the person who I'm talking to. And that's what it's all about. If you can't engage with people, if you can't chew over what they're saying and then respond, then you're not a true academic. Alright? Thank you. Take care.